Hi guys, Ryan Keats, your local sports therapist here in Sussex. I've had a few messages asking what stretches I recommend. Whilst I believe that a lot of people's problems these days come from weakness, being able to move freely means that you can maximise your progress in training or rehabilitation from an injury. If you're fit and healthy, there are certain movements we should all be able to do. Raising your arms above your head, things like touching your toes when seated, and things like squats, for example. If you are unsure about whether you can do these, then please let me know. This mobility flow is a collection of my favourites. I do them most mornings to help me prepare for the day ahead, but you can also double this up as a pre-workout routine, so give this a try. The first thing we're going to do is cross-legged cat-camel. So it's a bit odd because most people actually do this on all fours, and that's absolutely fine. This is just a personal preference. Placing the hands underneath the feet. Imagine there's a rope in mid-back and it's going to suck you back. You're going to look down, really flex through the spine there, and you're going to feel a really strong mid-back stretch. Okay? And then externally rotate the shoulders, look up and really try and place the mid-back as near to your legs as you can possibly go, so creating extension in the back. And just try that again. So really getting the stretch out. Externally rotate the shoulders, look all the way up. Okay, so before we start the main flow actually, I'll just show you the other way to do cat-camel, which is hands underneath the shoulders and knees underneath the hips. You're just going to push away with the knees and the hands and create the camel stretch, and then do the opposite, pulling the belly as near towards the floor as you possibly can and looking up. Do the opposite, into camel and back into cat. It's worth noting that variation because many people can't cross their legs, or they may find that uncomfortable or just not as effective. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is get into down dog pose. Okay, really try and push the hip back. And all I want you to do from this position is just pedal the heel towards the floor, getting that nice calf stretch. You'll feel this into the hamstring as well as you extend the knee. Try and make sure you're not leaning too far onto the hands as well, because then you don't get so much of the hip benefits that you can really get from this pose. Okay, once you're done that, you just walk your hands until standing position. Place your hands underneath your feet. Squat down, push the knees out, really try and increase the gap there. Once you're in that squat, you can push up into a posterior chain stretch that I really like, especially really handy after I play football actually. Back down into squat. Okay, extend the back and push out, straighten the legs. Just let the neck hang, just let the head hang. And just really try and push your hands away from your back as far as you can, creating that full posterior chain stretch. Excellent. After that, you can just walk your hands back down into down dog. Push back into the hips and walk yourself back up. Just a really good mobility exercise into the shoulders, I find. Into down dog. Hold in position here. One leg up, whether it's right or left, doesn't matter, you're going to do both sides. Lunge all the way forward. And then go into that lunge position, try and straighten up. Your head's just come up from a lowered position, so just give it time, just give your body time to get used to this position. Try and sink as low as you possibly can. Slight bend in the back knee. You're going to feel the stretch into the hip flexors. Arms raised and sink back down. Sink as far down as you can. Not forward, but down. Look up at your hands if you want a little bit more of a challenge. Back down, back into down dog. Other lunge. Back up. Hands tight. Sink as low as you possibly can. You're going to feel a really, really nice stretch through the hip flexor there. Absolutely one of my favourite stretches at the moment. I do this daily. And then hands planted back down, back into your down dog. Do that 2 or 3 times if you want to. I'm just going to go on to the next exercise. So, raising the right leg, lunging all the way forward. You're going to then walk your hands towards the left side of the mat if you're doing on the right leg, okay? All you're going to do is you're just going to twist in towards that leg, okay? Creating a nice spinal stretch there. And back down. And lunge back forward. Left leg up. Lunge forward. So feet in between the hands. And they're going to push yourself up into a high lunge. Sink down. By the way, if you activate the same side of the hip that you're flexing, if you activate the glute, then actually it increases the hip flexor stretch, okay? So activate the glutes, squeeze the glutes in, and you feel the deeper hip stretch there. Okay, yeah, and then hands inside of the leg. And we get spinal rotation. Spinal rotation is usually the first one to go on people. Literally, the spinal rotation health isn't really well thought of as an exercise. So I really like going through it, especially on this side for me at the moment. Very good. And back into down dog. Do some pedaling. Really try and mobilise those shoulders as well. Okay, so the last one we're going to go through is a supine glute stretch. Okay, so supine basically just means face up. You're going to lay down. I choose to do the glutes personally. They get really tight on me, and I'm sure they're really tight on you too. One of the biggest muscle groups of the body, or they're supposed to be, in a sense the strongest, actually happen to be the tightest and the weakest. Due to sitting down, I keep banging on about that every week. One leg, so bend your knees, one leg over the top of one knee, and with your arms, you're just going to grab the leg that's still planted and bring it towards you. You should feel on the leg that's in front of you, you should feel the glute stretch there, okay? So a stretch right on the back, right onto that gluteus medius, slight maximus stretch as well. Good. Place the leg down, and all you're going to do is rotate the spine to one side, go back, and go on to the other side. Facing the opposite direction, just so that you know that your shoulders are planted. Absolutely fantastic. So then you go on to the other side, so one leg, well, both legs bent. Your left leg now goes over the top of the leg. That is bent, that's planted. Grab the leg that's planted and bring it towards you. You can bring it towards you as much as you possibly can, depending on how much of a stretch you want. Oh, very, very nice. You should feel then the stretch going down the outside to the back of the leg onto that glute there, as it just attaches onto your femur, the upper bone. Place the leg back down, open the arms out, rotate the legs to one side, getting that stretch through the lower back, and to the other side. Don't complain too much at me for not doing too much shoulder work. There is a reason for that. I'll do a separate shoulder and neck mobility video for you, so watch out for that. There's lots of things to run through there, so I wasn't going to do that today. If you are feeling pain other than the comfortably uncomfortable sensation, then please do not continue. We are blessed in Sussex to have some of the best yoga, Pilates and personal trainers at our disposal for when we need them, whether it be online or in person. I see all three professions myself, and they've helped me so much throughout my life, okay? We see so much improvements in terms of physical and mental health when I refer my clients over to those professionals. So if you'd like me to recommend you some of those guys, then please just message me, okay? ST Ryan Keats on Instagram, or Ryan Keats on YouTube, or sportstherapy@backblog.co.uk.